pinball. It's baseball. It's pinball. It's baseball. It's pinball. It's baseball.
It's both.
Judge and Otani are also top vote getters, it happens, in the first round of fan balloting for the All-Star game on Tuesday, gaining 2 first roster spots. Back to the jerseys. 3 men have Mets on their uniform. Top 20 of all jersey sales. You got 3 in the Mets. Francisco Lindor is 5th. Teammate Juan Soto is 6th. And Pete Alonso is 16th. With the All-Star break starting on Monday, these are the kinds of things that sports talk show hosts are left to talk about. Mets announcers Gary Cohen and Keith Hernandez came this close to getting nailed by a foul ball last night at Camden Yards. Hernandez had no idea how close he came to getting pegged until Gary Cohen announced it on SNY.
I mean, we can laugh about it now, but if that ball had been just a few feet more to the left,
that could have been dangerous.
You could have been done for the season, or maybe forever. You could have been back in the incinerator.
My eyes are going on me and my reflexes.
And then the Mets lost, dropping that doubleheader.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I have a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with 0 experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
1010 wins at 92.3 FM, moving at the speed of New Yorkers.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Cranking up the heat, 84 now, feels like 94. I'm Wayne Cabot, it's 2:20. Here's what's happening. Public pressure worked. The NYPD is putting a mobile command center at the Bronx Hub open-air drug market. A story we've been telling you about, and it's not the first try at cleaning things up. Governor Hochul promising to fight back after saying the White House has cut the weather program at Albany University, part of SUNY. A driver on Long Island wonders why Easy Pass keeps billing her for skipping tolls on highways she doesn't drive on. RFK Jr. cancels a planned meeting about making insurance companies pay for certain preventive health care. It's only in previews, but the new Superman movie is more powerful than a speeding bullet, able to leave box office projections in jaw-dropping numbers. Wall Street mixed right now. The Dow is down about 300 points, but the NASDAQ is slightly higher. AccuWeather says a muggy night tonight and a muggy weekend ahead. Winds News Time, 2:21 with traffic and transit. Here's Greg Rice.
Well, the inbound side of the Gowanus Expressway getting up towards 38th. It looks like they're getting rid of a crash. And then further up the line on the inbound Gowanus getting up towards the Prospect. They got that broken down SUV in the right lane. That's why everything is slow from 7th Avenue on the inbound Gowanus. The outbound Gowanus is fine to the Verrazano, which is nice because the belt's getting worse from Plum Beach all the way to the Verrazano. Staten Island bound the bridge behaves, and that's the end of the good news. Everybody trying to get to Jersey has the westbound Staten Island Expressway clogged up from the Verrazano all the way out towards the West Shore. The southbound Turnpike is all right into Woodbridge. Southbound 287 coming down to the Parkway with a crash near the Turnpike. And then down the shore, it's not awful, just some traffic starting to build up south of the Wall into Toms River. Here is what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Citybound side of the George, about a 45-minute upper level ride. Lower is better. You want to get out of town, you and everybody else. West Side Highway is slow out of the 90s. That's the best of it, but it's getting worse. Lincoln, it's about 10 minutes in. Outbound side of the Lincoln, only about 20 to 30 right now. Once they got some more outbound lanes moving, things have really picked up. The outbound Holland, you haven't had that kind of luck. It's a 45-minute outbound ride. Inbound Holland, we're still in pretty decent shape. Traffic is sponsored by River Spring Living. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Scott Shannon with the greatest hits of the 60s and 70s on my True Oldies channel at 92.3 FM HD3.
Powered by River Spring Living, with a beautiful campus overlooking the Hudson River where older adults can live, learn, and flourish. For info, go to riverspringliving.org.
Well, now there are metal barricades in a mobile police command center trying to shut down a notorious open-air drug market in the Bronx we've been telling you about.
The hub has been closed since Wednesday. Police are trying to deter drug use from happening in this area. But as a result, business owners say the homeless and the drug use is still happening, just this time in front of their stores, feet away from the area that's closed. Eric is the owner of Lola.
Customer afraid to come to shop, blocking my store and do smoking drug, and all of them blocking over here.
Mohammed works at a phone accessory stand.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It's a little bit better.
And Jennifer, who shops in this area, says she's on edge.
Today I felt much better, but I'm safe maybe. And I saw the police officers.
We do see police patrolling in the area with a great amount of homeless still here. Mary Lynn Buckley, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Mount Haven.
In these days of extreme weather causing floods and deadly heat waves, Governor Kathy Hochul says the last thing we should do is curtail weather forecasting. Today she went to the weather program at Albany University, part of SUNY, to say don't fear the meteorological reaper. She will make up for the Trump cuts.
People that are saving lives with their work here today will not be able to stay because the federal government has different priorities, obviously, right? We know what they are. Making sure that the wealthiest in the nation have tax cuts. That's why this program is being cut. So while the president is de-investing in the safety of Americans, we are investing.
Since taking office in 2021, weather-related natural disasters have resulted in 8 major disaster declarations in New York State. In 2024, and so far this year alone, New York has broken 49 high-temperature records and had 38 tornadoes. The launch of the Nintendo Switch 2 went kind of sideways at a GameStop on Staten Island. An office stapler there somehow managed to puncture the screens of dozens of consoles sold to customers. Now, instead of running from this mistake, GameStop is embracing it. They're auctioning off that notorious staple to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. Bidding on that stapler now at $217,801. If you want in, the auction is running now on eBay. Top bidder gets the stapler, a certificate of authenticity, and the first Switch 2 to have its screen stapled. It's now refurbished and working again. You can also get the original box, puncture marks and all. And one more thing, GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen promised that if the auction gets into the 6 figures, which it has, he will include his underwear, which he will. Hey, if you're in the city tonight, sunset, you're going to be able to catch the Manhattanhenge phenomenon. Tonight and tomorrow night, the sun will set precisely where the gap is in just about all the east-west streets, except below 14th Street, where the grid gets all jumbled up. Best views on this grid of the sunset are the widest streets, of course, the ones that go two-way, 57th, 42nd, 34th, 23rd, and 14th. The peak viewing time is at 8:20 as the sun sets over New York. And again, the same thing for tomorrow night, and it looks like, with some luck, the weather's going to cooperate. Now, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins. Here's the update from Andrew O'Day.
Tariff threats and suggestions that Canada should be annexed by the U.S., helping many Canadians sour on the U.S., including with their investments. A new poll by Nanos Research finds almost half of Canadians, 47%, believe that pension managers should reduce their holdings of U.S. assets. It should be noted that the poll was taken before the latest escalation, President Trump calling for tariffs on Canada to be hiked to 35%. Following that, Wall Street, most stocks on Wall Street lower, Dow losing 287, S&P 500 down 14. NASDAQ, though, hanging on to a 7-point gain. The makers of heartburn medicine Zantac are celebrating a win. The Delaware Supreme Court rejecting an expert's testimony linking the drug to cancer. Former Zantac users have sued branded and generic drug makers of the product, alleging it caused 10 types of cancer. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Andrew O'Day for 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Now this message, Riverside Memorial Chapel for generations, a symbol of Jewish tradition and uncompromising quality.
D'Agostino, law, bite back. I'm injury attorney John Ryan D'Agostino, nicknamed The Closer.
continuing D'Agostino and Associates' legacy of helping the injured for over 35 years. My father, John D'Agostino, built this injury firm to help accident victims.
This is John D'Agostino, and this is a family firm. For us, it's about doing what's right and making sure somebody pays for your pain. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-BITE-BACK.
They call me the closer because big or small, in court or out, I'm fighting to get the job done, to win, to get you every dollar you deserve.
D'Agostino and Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there and I'll be there for you. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-200-1966. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-200-1966, 800-200-1966, or biglou.com.
It's that time of year again for the Feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel from July 9th to the 20th in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Join us for food, festivities, and the lifting of the Giglio. Visit olmcfeast.com for a listing of events. This is Monsignor Jamie Gigantiello. See you there.
Certainly steaming up already. A few degrees warmer in the past few minutes. 84 now. AccuWeather says feeling like 94 as we speak, and there could be a stray thunderstorm coming through sometime this evening, mainly north and west. A very sticky night again tonight. Same old story, down to 73. Tomorrow, humid with clouds and sun, maybe an afternoon or evening thunderstorm west of the city. 85 tomorrow. Sunday, again, a mix of clouds and sun, staying sticky and a chance of a storm, just a slight chance, the high 84. 84 right now. I'm Wayne Cabot, Winds News Time 2:30.
Good afternoon, I'm Lori Madden. When you have the same license plate number as an NYPD vehicle, you're gonna have trouble. Just ask a Bayshore, Long Island woman.
Joan Shuck cannot believe this license plate toll nightmare has been going on for nearly 2 years. The problem, her gray SUV has the same plate numbers as a police car in the city. And because of this, she keeps getting toll after toll after toll for places she has never been.
It's in pending collection, can suspend my registration. They can also take my vehicle.
The 63-year-old is disabled. She has a handicap plate and says she hardly leaves where she lives in Bayshore.
But it's the same plate is yours. It's mine. I don't have lights on the top of my car.
The MTA is in charge of the tolls. An agency spokesperson has not yet gotten back to me with a response. Sophia Hall, 1010 Winds at 92.3 FM in Bayshore, Long Island.
Winds News Time 2:31. Time now for traffic and transit. Here's Greg Rice.
Well, here is the ride in Brooklyn. It's better. Inbound Gowanus getting up towards the Prospect. They got rid of the breakdown. It's still slow in fits and starts from Fort Hamilton Parkway to the Prospect, but this is the best it's been in quite some time. Now, elsewhere in Brooklyn, the BQE slow either way into the Brooklyn Bridge, and then more eastbound company awaits from McGinnis Boulevard across the Kosciuszko Bridge and into Queens towards Queens Boulevard. East side of Manhattan, the Uptown ride is starting to become a bit of a chore. Northbound FDR very slow out of the 30s all the way and up towards Gracie Mansion. I'm not sure if something's going on under the structure getting up to Gracie, but yes, something has to be because everything just ground to a halt as I see it on the jam cam. Stay with the avenues on the east side. Northbound FDR messy now from 23rd Street through Gracie Mansion. West side highway is not going to solve all of your ills. That's actually tough from the 90s on up. That's kind of a theme with the outbound George. No easy way to do it. Citybound George 40 to 60 upper, 30 to 40 lower. Inbound Lincoln's about 15, but a half hour out. 40 to 60 home at the Holland. Inbound Skyway worse than the Newark Bay extension. Traffic is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call us now. $30 billion was set aside for meso victims. And in most cases, your claim is settled out of court without a jury trial. Visit forthepeople.com
for an office near you.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Well, Lori, we've been seeing a fair amount of sunshine throughout the afternoon. Temperatures have been running in the low to mid-80s for the most part. Pretty typical summer weather for this time of year. But one thing we have been experiencing is the high humidity. And so AccuWeather real field temperatures are pretty close to 90 this afternoon with that higher humidity. Now, we will have a stray thunder shower in a few spots into early this evening, especially north and west of the city. There have been a few along the Jersey Shore this afternoon. There's really nothing in the area right now. We're going to keep an eye on these storms popping up. Again, the best chance will be north and west. And warm and sticky tonight, a partly cloudy sky, low 73. Humid tomorrow with clouds and sunshine. There will be a spotty afternoon or evening thunderstorm west of the city. Tomorrow's high about 85. Partly cloudy and muggy tomorrow night, low 71. Still humid on Sunday with times of sun and clouds. Again, the slight chance for an afternoon thunderstorm well west of the city. Sunday's high about 84. But for most areas, it will be a dry weekend. And our next best chance for rain doesn't come until later Monday. As a cold front approaches, we'll see a couple of heavy thunderstorms in the afternoon, which could bring some flooding, downpours, even some strong winds. Monday's high about 83 degrees. It's 84 right now and partly sunny in Midtown, going up to 85. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station. 1010 winds on 92.3 FM.
When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you.
A message from NHTSA.
A key federal health panel is expected to meet on Monday after the nation's top health official postponed this week's gathering.
Health Secretary Kennedy canceled a meeting this week of a federal task force that helps determine which preventive health measures will be covered fully by insurance companies. The 16-member panel of doctors and other health experts plays a key role in determining whether millions are eligible for services like screenings. Critics have complained it had a woke ideology, but others now warn those decisions could be politicized. Last month, Kennedy fired 17 members of the Advisory Committee on Vaccines, appointing 8 people to succeed them.
Correspondent Steve Kathan. A new federal estimate shows a rise in pre-diabetes among U.S. adolescents. According to the CDC, in 2023, nearly 1 in 3 youngsters between the ages of 12 and 17 had pre-diabetes, but scientists who study and treat the disease noted that CDC officials released only a 600-word online summary of their findings, not the raw data, nor a peer-reviewed paper describing how they arrived at that figure. The agency also changed the methodology used to calculate the higher estimate without a detailed explanation. Harvard is looking into adding a new center.
The Wall Street Journal says leaders at Harvard are discussing the possibility of a new Center for Conservative Scholarship as the university battles the Trump administration in court over federal funding and autonomy. It follows government accusations of anti-Semitism, tolerance, and what the White House views as discriminatory DEI practices. A Harvard spokesman says the new center would not be partisan, but ensure exposure to the broadest range of perspectives. The Journal says the cost could run between $500 million and $1 billion.
Deborah Rodriguez for 1010 Wins.
Wall Street not liking President Trump's latest tariff threats. The markets have been down today. Canada is back in the president's crosshairs, along with Brazil, which is prosecuting its former president for trying to overthrow the government.
The tariffs against Brazil suggest politics rather than economics at play. Speaking to reporters before heading to Texas, the president said former Brazilian President Bolsonaro should not be on trial for trying to overturn his election loss.
They're treating President Bolsonaro very unfairly.
The president considers Bolsonaro a personal friend.
He's a very honest man.
Imposing 50% tariffs against Brazil seems contrary to the president's stated policy of correcting trade imbalances, since the U.S. has a trade surplus with Brazil of more than $7 billion.
It's correspondent Linda Kenyon. Superman arrives and James Gunn has more to come. That story's coming up next.
No one plans on heart problems, but everyone should have a plan for them. At RWJ Barnabas Health, we help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. With the latest technology and a highly specialized team of nurses, cardiologists, and surgeons, our network offers the most complete heart and vascular care in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Visit rwjbh.org/heart.
This is the story of the one.
As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on a shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I know I said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Now 1010 wins entertainment. Jimmy Olsen may get his due and a new show as James Gunn's Superman opens in theaters.
Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
The Wall Street Journal is reporting that James Gunn is considering 2 TV spin-offs for Superman characters, one involving Jimmy Olsen, the other for Mr. Terrific. Gunn's feature film is already soaring to a huge opening, raking in $22.5 million in limited previews last night.
Entertainment on 1010 Wins is sponsored by Shulman & Hill, New York's injury lawyers.
Go to hurtny.com.
That's hurtny.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Savor every last drop of summer with Starbucks. From bold refreshers to rich cold brews, the sunniest season only gets better with a handcrafted iced beverage in your hand. Available for a limited time. Your summer favorites are ready at Starbucks.
Having a tough time paying your bills? Learn how to reduce your credit card debt to a fraction of what you owe. Call the Debt Helpline now for free advice. 800-329-9912. 800-329-9912.
All News 92.3 FM, powered by 1010 Wins.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. 80 degrees at 2:40. I'm Lori Metten, and here's what's happening. Help's on the way for the hub. The NYPD sends a mobile command unit to the commercial strip in the South Bronx that had become an open-air drug market. Our Mary Lynn Buckley with the story in a moment. A no-go for a 9/11 deal. A federal appeals court rejects the plea of the accused terror mastermind. State officials say 1.5 million New Yorkers are expected to lose their health coverage under President Trump's new bill, with the Bronx taking one of the biggest hits. Get your water gun ready. The Rocky Horror Show with some of the original stars of the film pulling into Town Hall this fall. The famous red windmill sails of Paris's Moulin Rouge Cabaret can again. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 270 points this hour. 1010 Wins AccuWeather says partly cloudy, humid tonight, low 73. Humid all weekend with sun and clouds, temperatures in the mid-80s. Wins News Time 2:41. Time now for traffic and transit from the Mercedes-Benz of Edison.com Traffic Center. Here's Greg Rice.
Well, we heard from a number of you on the 1010 Wins traffic tip line telling us about this broken down car on the northbound FDR over Gracie. They got it moving again, got it out of the center lane, but we're still slow from the 20s on up. The West Side Highway northbound extra slow out of the 70s now up towards the George. But even with all of that, the West Side is still your winner by default, getting you out of town because everything else is still a whole lot worse. South End Deegan's messy from Van Cortlandt Park cross Bronx. That'll run you at least an hour out of the Bruckner interchange. Inbound side of the Lincoln, it's about 10 minutes. The outbound Lincoln's not as awful as it was once they got some more lanes going Jersey bound, but it's still at least 20 minutes out. The outbound Holland, 40 to 60 minutes, and that'll only get worse. Inbound Skyway's a bit slow. The Newark Bay extension, that treats you better. Whitestone, the worst of it either way. Across the Upper East River and the westbound Staten Island Expressway, crowded to say the least. From the Verrazano to the West Shore, Jersey, Garden State Parkway, and Kenilworth southbound. After exit 138, the right lane out because of a breakdown, and that'll slow you down all the way back through Irvington. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
We have an update to a story we told you about earlier this week when businesses along the hub in the South Bronx sent up an SOS to the city saying crackdowns on an open-air drug market weren't working. The NYPD has since sent in a mobile command unit. So we checked things out today.
The hub may be closed, but the drug use hasn't stopped.
Smoking weed, bourgeois, doing the needles.
Eric's seeing it right in front of his store, Lola.
He do the cards, he do everything over here. And it's not that catered, I can come there.
While he's happy police are patrolling in the area, he says since the hub is closed, the only thing it's caused is the homeless moving over to the storefronts. Mohammed works at a phone accessory stand. He says since police closed down the hub, he feels a little safer.
A lot of homeless people, crazy people. Police is good.
Police are continuing to keep the Roberto Clemente Plaza closed. However, we are seeing a whole lot of foot traffic in front of the stores, but not many people shopping. Mary Lynn Buckley, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Mott Haven.
It's a case that has been dragging on for decades, and a federal appeals court now has thrown out the plea deal for accused 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Mohammed's plea would have spared him the death penalty. The deal had been negotiated over a 2-year period and approved by military prosecutors and the Pentagon senior official for Guantanamo. But it was rejected by former Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. The appeals court sided with Austin, even though the defense and military prosecutors fought to protect the agreement after years of delays and logistical trouble. Governor Hochul says 1.5 million New Yorkers are expected to lose their health coverage under the new Republican domestic policy bill. In one Bronx district alone, some 100,000 residents are expected to be cut from Medicaid, and thousands of hospital jobs are in peril.
The Bronx would take the biggest hit. 2/3 of its residents rely on Medicaid, including 45-year-old Jose Hernandez, who suffered a spinal cord injury 30 years ago.
I have no idea, and that's the scariest thing, that no one knows how is this going to affect them.
Healthcare here at St. Barnabas largely runs on Medicaid. The president and CEO of the SBH Health System, Dr. David Perlstein, is working on efficiencies.
I have an MBA. I can do math, but I also will not give up. Will not give up on the community, not even close.
But according to the Greater New York Hospital Association, 34,000 hospital jobs could be lost. Marla Diamond, 1010 Wins.